Alright guys, so you want to start this haircut by combing out the hair so that you can get the hair in one direction and to take it off the scalp so that when you cut it'll be more even. Alright guys, so now we're going to be cutting the top of the hair. So that's why I went to go refill my spray bottle. And the way I cut the top of the hair is I take a vertical section, so that's going from the back to front, and then I cut that, and then I basically take another section right in front of it, and I follow the cut that I just made. So I just keep following that guideline from the top to the front, and then to the back, and then I take horizontal sections, and then I do the same thing. I follow the guideline, and you basically just want to do that all around the head. And I know you guys can't really see, but I do end up fixing the camera angle. And you really just want to take your time, guys. The time will come with experience. You'll have shorter time as you have more experience, but especially when you're starting off, you just want to take your time. It's gonna make you a lot better barber. So yeah, I'm just going from top to front, and then I'm going back, and then I'm going from top to the sides. And then in the fringe area or the front of the hair, he only wanted about ½ an inch off. So what I did is I just texturized it to kind of blend it into the back or the top, rest of the hair. So here I just let him take a look in the mirror and see if he wanted me to take any more length off. He said no though, so we're gonna move on to cutting the sides. So we're starting off with our clipper closed. The reason I do this instead of using the trimmers is because it's a little bit easier to take out that bottom line. And here my clippers are making a weird noise. I just used blade wash, so I'm not sure exactly why they're making that noise, but it didn't end up being a problem. Okay, so now we're gonna debulk the sides with the number 2 opening. And you can see I sort of messed up in making the first guideline. Sort of went up a little bit, but as long as you're using the back of the blade, it's not gonna be impossible to take it out. So it's not too big of a deal. And then I also wanted to mention that I'm using a sort of a flick out motion and sort of guiding the clipper above the head so that it blends into the top. You could also use either clipper over comb or scissor over comb, or use your texturizing shears, but it's much easier and much quicker to just sort of glide the clipper towards the top. Now I'm gonna be making the first guideline with my clippers open, with no guard on, and with the lever all the way open. Alright guys, so basically what I'm doing here is I'm using the lever. So at the top of the guideline, it's basically going to be lever open, and then as I go down, I'm going to close it. So what I actually did here was I closed it all the way and I went to the very bottom of the guideline, and then I slowly opened the lever as I went up. The reason why you want to do this is because it's going to basically cut it shorter. The lower you have the lever, or well, actually, it's the higher you have the lever, because the lever goes downwards to open. So yeah, you also want to be using a flick out motion, and be using the back of the blade. You don't want to really point it sort of towards or at the client, because that's going to leave a indentation, and it's going to be really hard to get out. So yeah, just flick out motion here. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be using my trimmer. I usually do this before setting in the first section, but I forgot to do it, so I'm doing it now. So the key to doing this is you just want to go up to a little bit before where you started the first section, the no guard section, and you want to basically flick be flicking right before you get to the section, so you can create that gradients. You don't want to go too high up, because then you're gonna be creating a new sort of a new guideline or an indentation. So then once you basically do this, you're gonna want to go with the shaver and do the same thing right below it. You're gonna want to go just about up to the trimmer line and flick out. And then what you can do also is to create more of a gradient. You can go downwards with the shaver right before the trimmer line. So it should be the clipper closed, and then below that the trimmer line, and then below that you should use the shaver going downwards, and then right below that you should use the shaver going upwards, and that should create a nice gradient. Also, another thing, guys, that's pretty key is that you're going to want to zero gap your clippers to take that bottom line out. If you don't zero gap them, then there's going to be too much of a difference between where your trimmers hit and the no guard closed. So make sure you zero gap your clippers. You can look up a tutorial on YouTube on how to do that, and there's also zero gapping tools that you can buy at a barber supply store or on Amazon. So I went back in with my clippers to detail this first guideline because I saw a few dark spots that I wanted to take out. Sometimes, guys, you gotta play with the lever a little bit and see which lever position is gonna take out and blend the cut in. Sometimes you gotta go lower where you are usually higher. So yeah, guys, keep that in mind. So now I'm going in with my half guard open, setting that next guideline, and we're gonna do the same steps. We're gonna close it. We're gonna slowly close it as we go down and blend that second guideline. Pretty simple. So you can already see the blend starting to come together. I'm not the best barber yet, but you know, I still like to make this video because I think it could help out some people. especially some of my friends who are doing barbering. Well, one of my friends who's doing barbering. Shout out to Chris. So yeah, I'm not the best barber. I know it's not the best fade in the world, but I think I've got some gems in this video that could really help out some beginner barbers. And so I kind of get lost here a little bit in the fade, which, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it happens to everyone, but I'm pretty sure it happens to every beginner barber. A good tip if you get lost is try to remember where, or see where the bottom line is, and then count basically the inches or the 3/4 inches up. So if you're on the first guideline, you could say, okay, it's about 3/4 of an inch between the very bottom of the fade and where I'm supposed to be, and then that's how you can kind of figure it out. And then something that helps me not get lost is using making the whole guideline all the way across the head. Yeah, that should help you out if you're a beginner barber. So here I'm just following my steps. I'm lowering the lever little by little as I go down in this section. You just gotta follow your steps, guys. Most important thing. Your fades aren't gonna be the blurriest at first, but you gotta just keep the faith. You gotta still take pictures. I post all my fades, even if, you know, one comes out a little bit sloppy. You know, because I am still a beginner barber. I am still learning, but I still post them, you know, just so that people can see, you know, oh, he's working on his craft, or, you know, even so people can see, okay, he's not the greatest hair cutter, but at least, you know, I'm kind of honest. And I mean, it's just good to post all your cuts. You can get tips from people, and it's just a better, it's more truthful to who you are posting all your cuts. I mean, I got nothing against you if you only post the nice ones. I get that too, but I just prefer to be a little bit more transparent. So at this point, I'm using the one guard. I'm not sure if it's open or I've closed it a little bit, but we're basically just following the same steps, making a new guideline with the one guard open, and then blending it down using the lever. So now we're going in with the 1.5 guard. I believe I'm using it closed here and just going up a little bit. There's different ways to fade. There's different tactics. Everyone has a different way of fading. This is the way that I like, and I think this will help you guys out, especially if you're a beginner barber. I've taken a lot of notes. I've taken a lot of knowledge in, and this has been what's probably the easiest to fade, rather than any other method that I've used personally. But that's just my opinion. And then basically I'm just going up little by little, pushing the lever down a little bit as I go up. So now I'm gonna go back in with my one guard and do some detailing. Detailing is pretty key, so I'm just looking at any dark spots, and I'm blending them in more. So yeah, this part is pretty key. You know, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just if you see dark spots, just try to take them out. This is something that you'll also get better at with time. So sorry for the shots of my back all the time. This is basically my first barber video that I'm recording the full thing. I did another one back in the day, but I barely even knew how to cut back then, so it didn't turn out too well. I had to actually ask my friend for help on the cut. That was when I was working in a barber shop. Well, also I would get a bit nervous in the shop. It's not that I didn't know how to cut, but I would get kind of nervous, and that would kind of hurt me. So you're also gonna see me kind of be all over the place in this video. I go in with the trimmers, I go in with the razors. Usually it'd be a lot more cleaner, but yeah, this is my first time doing a video, so I had a little bit more pressure on me. But next time it'll be cleaner. And I always leave 3/4 of an inch underneath the jawline, because it adds a bit more fullness. You can just go on the jawline, but that makes the beard look a bit weak, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. I know some barbers do that, but I personally prefer not to. I think it looks a lot better when you leave about 3/4 of an inch to an inch underneath the jawline. Just my opinion. So here we're lining up the mustache. It makes it a lot easier if you have your client sort of suck in their cheeks or whatever. You can just tell them to do this motion and then imitate it. So I first go downwards to push the line down, and then I go upwards and sort of re-hit the line. And then you want to go underneath the mustache as well. It's very important. I hate when barbers leave that spot on me. You want to sort of edge up the mustache on the corner of the lips right there, so sort of make a circular motion and clear out any hairs that kind of go into the mouth or onto the lips. And then you want to line up the bottom. You just want to line it up like kind of on the same, line it up according to the lips pretty much. On the top of the lip, you should be able to see the very top of the lip. That's where you want to line it up. Yeah, so now I'm doing the edge up. You know, this client obviously doesn't. This is my brother, by the way. Shout out Mike. This client, he obviously doesn't want a lineup in the front, but we're still gonna edge him up. We basically just take the thickest point and create a line at whatever angle we have to. And then you also want to hit the C cups, even though he barely has hair there. So just sort of make a circular motion on that temple area. I'm not sure if you can really see it in this video, so sorry about that. Sorry you can't see it. I'll fix that next time, guys, I promise. But basically now we're just doing the same steps we did on the hair, but we're going upside down on the beard. So the first guideline is going to be going downwards, half open. Then we're going to slowly close it up. Or actually, the first guideline, the first thing you want to do is hit it with the shaver and with the trimmer. And then you want to go no guard open, and then fade that in pretty much. And then you're going to want to use your half guard, do the same thing. Use the one guard, do the same thing. And then we're going to use the 1.5 to blend the rest of it in. We're going to use it to blend it into the 2 that we use actually. So here I'm getting my gloves out just because I just bought these and I really wanted to use them, and I forgot to put them on earlier, so. So like I said, you just want to do no guard open, and then you want to blend that guideline using the lever. And then we're going to do the same thing with the half guard, same thing with the 1 guard, same thing with the 1.5 guard, and then we're going to use the 2 to trim it down. And then one thing, guys, that you want to do that's pretty important is you want to be cutting the hair with the grain, or sorry, against the grain. So here I'm cutting it left to right, and I'm cutting it like diagonally up to down, or top left to top to bottom right, because this hair growth pattern is a bit tricky. So yeah, you want to make sure to do that so you can get it to the lowest point. So now I'm going to be using the 1 guard open, and then I'm going to be using the 1 guard, using the lever with the 1 guard to blend that in. One tip that I have for you guys is set your standards high. You will eventually reach it. It just might take you longer than, having low standards, but you will eventually get to where you want to be. So here I'm just hitting it with the 2. That's going to be like the final length for the beard. And here I'm just trimming the mustache with some clipper overcomb. And then now I'm lining up the cheek area. I'm gonna go in with the trimmer first, and then I'm gonna hit it after with the straight razor. So here I'm doing the edge up first. So now I'm just lining up the C-cups with the straight razor. One key thing here, guys, is that you always want to be pulling the skin in the opposite direction of where you're cutting. So this here, guys, is called the backstroke motion. This is something you learn in barber school. So yeah, you basically just flip the straight razor around, and you use, and then you bring your arm down as you shave, pretty much. It's like how you normally use the razor, just use it at the back of your hand instead of the front. Now I'm just going to use my trimmers to shave his neck area, and don't mind him being shirtless. We're just at my house right now. This step is really important, guys. It'll separate you from a lot of other barbers. So make sure you either got to take off the barber cape. You might have to pull his shirt down a little bit. But make sure you guys get this part. It'll separate you from other barbers. And then I'm just using the foil shavers underneath the neck here, just because usually underneath the neck it could be a little bit more sensitive. That's why I rather use the foil shavers than the straight razor. And then a nice little touch I add, guys. I learned this tip from someone else, I forgot who. But a nice little thing to do is to give your client a few options of aftershave cologne and let them smell them and let them pick it out for themselves. So little things like this that can go a long way when you're talking about keeping clientele. And then I just missed a spot here. Like I said, I was kind of all over the place in this video because I was a little bit nervous from having the recording. This is my first time recording this, so yeah, I kind of missed a step earlier. But at least I went back and did it. It's better to go back and do it than just completely forgetting it, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you learned anything, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.